Hello, Beatles fans. Today is a very special day in Beatles history. As you can see, I have my Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band t shirt on today for the occasion. Well, I had another shirt on before, but I said if I'm going to do this video, I want to do it right the first time. So I said, let's change our shirts and put on the appropriate shirt for this. So I put on my Beatles shirt. Today, 56 years ago today, on June the 1st, 1967, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, the album was released in England and all over the world on this date. So today I thought I'd give a little brief story of how I got into Sgt. Pepper and how I became a Beatles fan because of one song on this album. So it also, well, first I'm going to show you a little picture here of Pete Best when he was still with the Beatles. His autograph is on it. This is long before Ringo, but as you can see here, we got John, Paul, and George, and Pete Best. So this is before Ringo entered the scene. So we got that, and it all stems back to a summer day in 1985. I don't remember the exact date, but I woke up one morning. Okay, I have a stereo in my bedroom, but I don't know what possessed me to go in my sister's room to use her record player to listen to this album because she had this album on vinyl. It was a Canadian pressing of this album here, Meet the Beatles. I don't know if it all had the same songs that this one has, but this is a US pressing on Rainbow Capital, as you can see. And I'll show you the back. I'll take the record out. And this sounds minty and pristine. It was from Patrick, the vinyl archivist, who sent me this VCLT. Let me take there's the actual original inner sleeve it came with, and this is the back with all the song listings. And here we have the lads looking dapper in their suits. So we have I Want to Hold Your Hand. I saw her standing there, this boy. That's the reason I want this album, because With the Beatles doesn't have it. That's the UK pressing of this, but I wanted this one because it has this boy. It won't be long. All I've got to do, all my loving. Don't bother me, little child, till there was you. Hold me tight. I want to be your man, and not a second time. Now, I remember playing this album on my sister's record player in the morning, and I really listened to it, and I felt like I really listened to it because before, when she first got the album, James, I heard that the Beatles never really existed and that they are really just computer generated like gorillas. That's what my neighbor told me. What do you think? No, the Beatles did really exist because I have proof in the proof right here. See? They were real. They did concerts and stuff. And it wasn't holograms. It was the real deal, Roger. It was the real deal. So so I really listened to the songs more deeper than I did when my sister first got it back in 1981, this album. This and I listened to the harmonies. I listened to every little intricate detail. And like I'm 16 at the time in 1985, and I'm sitting there listening to this, and I'm like, I'm loving this. Like the harmonies, everything that they did was just so beautifully done. And I was blown away. So I listened to side one, then I got the side two, and I loved it. And then I went back to side one, and I played This Boy again. And I said, why am I drawn to this song? And the first time I've heard it in a couple of years, and now I'm falling in love with it. And I wanted more and more and more of it. I could not stop listening to it. Then I played It Won't Be Long. And I was like I love the harmonies in it. I played It Won't Be Long 20 times over. And I said to myself, I really like this band. I wasn't a fan yet. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go to my library today when they open at 1 o'clock. And I am going to get another Beatles record. I'm going to see what else they have to offer me. So I go from early Beatles to psychedelic Beatles. Now, before I get to the main album itself, I'm going to show you the picture disc one first. And then we'll get to the good stuff here. So, this was given to me for my birthday when I turned 49 in 2018. The picture disc of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And yes, this is also the 50th anniversary. And side 2 is the bass drum. I'm not going to take it out because it's a hell of a time to get this thing back in there. And of course, you've got all the lyrics on the back, but you don't have all the other little features in here. But unfortunately for this one, I didn't keep the hype sticker, which I should have. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. So now we get to the main thing and back to my story of my experience with Sgt. Pepper. So 1 o'clock rolls around, so I walk up to the library and I say hi to Nora, the head librarian. I say hi to all the people that are working there. Then I head over to the record shelves or wherever, the bins, whatever they put them in, and I'm scrolling through the Beatles. I see Revolver, Rubber Soul, I see all this, and then I see this one. And I go, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, Beatles. I'm like, And I was intrigued by the cover. The cover just spoke to me. And I was like, wow. I was taking it on the cover alone, never knowing what I was about to experience, how more psychedelic this was than this one, the Meet the Beatles. I hadn't even known about Please Please Me album or any of that stuff yet, because I was just starting to get into the Beatles, trying to find ground with them, seeing what else they had done. And so I said, you know what? I'm just going to take this one. I could have taken a couple of Beatles albums because, but I said, let's experiment with this one first. Let's see if I like this one first. And this is the original way I remember it when I got it at the library. This cost a little more money than I expected it to, but I saved up my birthday money when I turned 50 back in 2019 to get this album. And this spoke words to me. So I got it home. I said, Mom, I got another Beatles album to listen to. I got Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And this is the first time a Beatles album actually had the lyrics on the back. As you can see here. I've shown this album many times on my channel, but, it's always nice to talk about it again. And you see that Paul's backwards. This was at the time about the rumor that Paul is dead and all that stuff. And as you can see on the front, there's only 2 guitar strings, and it's left-handed. That's to show that Paul is dead, which was not true. It was just, as George would say, it's just a rumor. So, and here, now I'll show you the gatefold. So here's the lads looking all dapper in their suits, their band suits for Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And then, in this one, you get the booklet, which is kind of small, with some writing about it. And then you get all the numbered things for the front cover and all the listing of all the people on here that you have. But I'm not going to go through them all because that would take forever and this would be too long a video. So we don't want to take that route. So we're just going to go with that. Now, In the second one here, I'm not going to take the records out. They're on Parlophone, 180 gram, because that would take too long to put. Then they're a pain in the butt to get back in. So you get the original cutouts, just like the original 1967 album. Uh, so you get this and that. And I kept the hype sticker for this. So you get that. And you even get the original inner sleeves. If I can get this stupid thing to go back in here. And it's not cooperating. Please go in like I want you to. Oh, dang it. Let me put it on this side. It might be easier. Technical difficulty, people. Hold on. I got it. There we go. Thought I'd never get that back in. If it'll come out slow. No. You get the original inner sleeves, which are psychedelic looking. See, they're kind of psychedelic looking. So you get that as well for both discs. And so I put this on. And wait, let me put that down there so you can see my face. I put it on, put the needle on side one, and then I heard the guitars warming up, the band's just getting all excited and ready to go. And then I hear the first song, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and I hear that guitar, you know, at the beginning. And I'm like, wow, this is quite different from what I heard this morning. And I like how it segues into with a little help from my friends. And then after, when I heard Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, I was like, wow, this is really trippy. I said, this is so different from what I heard this morning. Then I could tell that this band really experimented with different sounds and stuff. And when I heard She's Leaving Home with the harp, I was like, I thought, wow, this is beautiful. Like, I never heard a harp in a rock and roll song before. So the Beatles really did something that made this album unique. And then I get to side two, and I hear Within You, Without You with the sitar with George Harrison. I thought it was an interesting piece of music. I'd never heard anything like that with Indian music in it. And I thought it was beautiful. Then when I heard When I'm 64, I said, this song sounds familiar. And then I thought of Sgt. Pepper, the movie, when I watched it a couple of years back at my grandparents' place. Not the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band movie, the Yellow Submarine. And I said, I remember hearing this before. And I thought that was so cool. Then I was really blown away by Lovely Rita Mita Maid. I really loved it. I love the harmonies in that song. I thought this is really amazing. Then we get to Good Morning, Good Morning. And I thought that was kind of cool with all the animal sounds at the end, leading into the reprise of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And what really got me was Ringo's drumming at the beginning. I thought, like, wow, that is really awesome. So that really blew my mind when I heard that. And then when it went into A Day in the Life, this song, I'd never heard anything like this in the before with the orchestra when it builds up and then it goes into dun dun dun. Woke up, got out of bed, dragged the comb across my head, or fell out of bed. Sorry, not got out of bed, fell out of bed. I thought, I didn't know it was two songs combined together. That one was a Paul song, one was a John song. At the time, I didn't know that till years later, till I really studied and got more into the Beatles and knew more about how some of these songs were created. But then at the end, when the orchestra goes up on that note and it goes, Down with the piano crash at the end. I didn't know at the time that it was 4 pianos doing that, and how it just fades out. And I just sat there with my jaw on the floor. I was like, "Oh my god!" I said, "I got to play that song again." I played that song, people, 20 times over. And then on the 20th play of that song, I said, I'm a Beatles fan. I love this. I want more. I want to hear more. Then I played the album again, and I said, this is a great band. I love the way they experiment with different instruments and arrangements and stuff. I'd never heard anything like it before in my life, and it just blew my mind. And a few days when Pepper was released, um, Jimi Hendrix was going to be doing a concert, I think, on the weekend, and he'd never heard it before. He he managed to practice the whole Sergeant Pepper song to play it, and guess who was there at the concert? Paul and John. They were at the concert for Jimi Hendrix, and they heard him play Sergeant Pepper. And when I heard Sergeant Pepper played by Jimi Hendrix on the Beatles channel for the first time, I was like, wow, he did a really kick ass job with it. And so this has become my all time favorite #1 Beatles album in my life, Sergeant Pepper, released today, 56 years ago. I think that's right. 67 to 2023. My mom was trying to do the math for me, helping me figure out if that's the timeline, but I'm guessing it was 56 years ago. Sergeant Pepper taught the band to play. So this album will always be hold a special place in my heart. And I'm going to leave you now with a little lyric here. A splendid time is guaranteed for all. So everyone, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. If you haven't heard this album before, do yourself a favor, go pick up a copy, listen to it. You will not be disappointed. And this one's in stereo. I know they had it in mono as well, but this is stereo. So that's my little tribute to Sergeant Pepper today, and I hope you all enjoyed it. And as I say in my channel, Beatles forever. See you on Sunday for my stream. Talk to you later. Bye for now. Peace and love.